Hello everyone, I am back, it's me Andy here, and I'm back to talk about a brand new video. Realistically speaking, in January this year, I got myself 2 DVDs of the same of the same musical that I do adore massively. I was going to say West End, and it did actually go into the West End 2 years after it made it into Broadway. And of course, I am talking about Rent, the musical. Both the 2005 movie and the 2008 final Broadway production, live show. So therefore, why did I get into it? Well, realistically speaking, it was in January. I had a lot of Christmas money, and I decided I was in HMV, and I wanted to get myself some musicals again. Because of me being the musical lover that I am, I thought, yeah, you know what, screw it, I'll get myself a new music. I'll get myself like 1 or 2 new musicals on DVD. So I ended up buying Rent, and effectively speaking, I went into it literally with an open canvas. I didn't know what to think of it. I watched the live show first because I was like thinking the live show might be a bit better, it might be a bit worse. I really didn't know what to think of it at the time. So therefore, what it is that I got into it, and it was really quite amazing. It was really quite powerful. And when I watched it, especially at the end, when Angel returns, to finish off finale B, I wasn't ready to cry. It was very much the basis of, it was hard hitting in so many ways. Like Without You, I'll Cover You reprise. All of those songs in the second act are so powerful, and it's just like, you almost want to go, what the hell, I didn't expect that. And it's so true. So therefore, following on from that, I left it a few months until I watched the 2005 movie, and then I noticed that there was quite a few differences in terms of casting, such as the cast members from the 2005 movie weren't in the 2008 production, if that makes sense. I don't know why, for whatever reasons, but apparently speaking, the 2005 movie, 6 out of the 8 principal characters had been in the Broadway production at some point, which is fantastic stuff. So therefore, in some ways, in all seriousness, the 6 actors / actresses that had played characters in Rent beforehand in the Broadway production almost knew their character really well in that sense, which is fantastic stuff. So therefore, I left it a few months and I watched the 2005 movie, and I loved it because of it's effectively just that if you want less amount of songs, then yeah, the movie is it. However, if you want the actual scenery, if you want more actual effect in what they're saying and everything, then yeah, the movie has it. However, if you want more music, the Broadway production has it. Literally, I can't knock it. I know, it's a shame really that they, in the 2005 movie, they did actually create a scene for the song Halloween, which stars Anthony Rapp as Mark. However, what it is that, evidently speaking though, in all of this, that they left that out, even though they'd filmed it, but yet they left out other bits like Happy New Year, Happy New Year A and Happy New Year B, which are literally just follow-ups of each other, alongside, I'd say you could say that they did Seasons of Love B, but only it really wasn't that noticeable in that sense. Yeah, so what it is that happened, and then realistically speaking, they also left out Christmas Bells. Now, I'm a massive fan of Christmas Bells. It's a fantastic 5-6 minute song. Yeah, it doesn't have exactly a chorus, but it's a beautiful song. A lot happens in it in the Broadway production, and it's just a shame that when they almost replicated it in the movie, but without the actual song exactly. I can see why, because it would have been very time consuming, considering there is so much dance choreography and there is so much singing from so many people. It would be literally, they'd have to have so many shots of so many people all at one time. It just wouldn't work out in that sense. Unlike, when you do it in a show, you can scatter people around on a stage, and it works in that effect. So evidently speaking, I loved both of them, and what made me even love Rent even more, and this is coming from the Jersey Boys side of things, Jersey Boys and Rent both have rock elements to them both, but Rent is arguably the more rock type instead of Jersey Boys. So therefore, I actually found myself relating a lot to both Mark, Roger, Collins in a way, and also Benny, because of, in all seriousness, all four of those characters have their own relations that I can identify with. So therefore with Mark, he, just like Roger, does things on his own. Like, I'm one to carry around a camera with me whenever I go out to London or wherever, you know, in case I want to film something or whatever, for stock footage or whatever it is I want to do. So therefore, just like Mark, I'm very similar in that case. However, at the same time, there are things that I've not been involved in, that my friends have been involved in, and literally, right, in Ren, I'm not trying to spoil the fun here, or spoil the spoilers exactly, but Mark is very much the character in, minus Benny in a way, that doesn't have anything like wrong with him. Like, yeah, he's been dumped at the start by Maureen, but he's not as but at the same time though, he's not exactly like, he doesn't have AIDS or HIV like Mimi, Roger, Collins and Angel all have. So therefore, as a result, he can't relate to them, and as a result, he feels very sorry for them. Whilst at the same time, for me, I can relate to Roger in a sense of like almost feeling a bit like an outcast in a way. Like, for example, at my time at school, especially during my latter years of school, I always felt a bit of an outcast, whether it be that I was walking on my own or I was walking to school on my own. Like, for example, even now, I still feel a little bit of an outcast whenever I go to football matches on my own, because I'm just like, I don't get me wrong, I enjoy football matches, but yet at the same time, sometimes I leave on my own, I go on my own accord, and yeah, sometimes it does have its benefits, but sometimes it does have its negative, like, prospects, which to be honest I'm not really a fan of in that circumstance. But with Roger though, he also has that sense of upsetness, regret, the fact that he lost someone, that like he lost his girlfriend April, because of basically him and April were diagnosed with AIDS or HIV. It's one of those two. Sorry, seriously, I'm not trying to cause offence when I say this, but they were diagnosed with AIDS. And therefore, what it is that April like killed herself because of, she was just so upset about it, and as a result, Roger was left grieving for the fact that his girlfriend had killed himself whilst he was trying to fight AIDS, if that makes sense. But that's what it is that, so therefore in my perspective, I've lost so many like people. I used to have so many best friends, and now I've got a select few. And I'm not saying that's a problem, because, you know, at the end of the day, we've all got to go our own different ways in life. But yet, the way that Roger lost his girlfriend, and I've lost my best friends, I can relate to him in that sense. The fact that I was almost looking, that especially when I like started college, I was trying to look for that one girl to like be in my life like fully, because of, I don't want to sound harsh here, but I'm very much a one-man team at the moment, and that's how I look at it from my perspective. With Benny, actually, Benny, just like me, is a bit of a businessman, or I try to be a businessman, and that is, Benny wants to like pretty much like he likes to change bits and bobs where he can, and he likes to help out friends where he can. I like to help, like especially in the second act, he tries to help Mimi as her like she goes very downhill with the fact that the AIDS is really like the AIDS is taking over her body really like drastically. Whilst at the same time though, he's trying to do the best for his friends, because of he's a married man, and just simply the fact that he's a bit of a businessman. He's talking to investors. I'm not trying to spoil anything here, but I'm trying to talk to a few companies about joining them, like setting off a few partnerships with the media work I do. So therefore, it's all very similar, like similarities there. With Collins actually, especially like Collins gets beaten up. He like, especially in the first act, he gets beaten up. He's all a bit of a wreck. He then gets picked up, and sometimes I've had to be picked up by my parents, like in terms of like mentally, of course. Like Collins gets picked up by Angel, who he then falls in love with, and just simply he cares for him a lot. Whilst for me, my parents have had to pick me up mentally when I've been in a dark place, when I've been down and like in the dumps and just not wanting to know anyone. So if I can definitely see how Collins is in that sense. Whilst at the same time though, overall the whole story is just fantastic. You know, you've got little lovely relationships. You've got Maureen and Joanne with their little spats going on throughout the show, and it's just fantastic in that sense. The music is also fantastic. I can't deny it, the music is just simply fantastic. if I can't really pick a favourite song except for What You Own and Another Day, Life Support. Honestly, you can note there are massive differences between the movie version and the Broadway version. I personally prefer the Broadway version of Life Support, other than the like compared to the movie version. But that's simply just due to the fact that Adam Pascal joins in at the end of Life Support to when he goes 3 years ago. When he goes, I should have died 3 years ago, and you really feel the emotion that Will Chase sings with it. It's really just powerful, and you're just like, whoa. But at the same time though, you can notice the whole working relationships between all the cast. It's fantastic. It seriously is fantastic, and I really can't knock it. In fact, it actually came to my knowledge back like 2 or 3 weeks ago that Will Chase did actually play Chris in Miss Saigon. So funnily enough, I've been watching him singing Last Night of the World for the last few weeks, and again, that is fantastic. But I will go on to Miss Saigon within the next few weeks, because again, that is a fantastic show that I've got really a lot of time for, and it's just, oh my, it's sad as hell. Just like I will be going on to Jersey Boys in the next few weeks as well, because of, given I've seen both the stage show and I've seen the movie more than enough times. Honestly, Rent is one of those movies, like musicals, that if you've not seen, watch it. It's like literally, right, you can go onto YouTube and literally some amazing person has put up most of the clips on YouTube. So therefore, please watch it. I'm pretty sure you could get most of the clips like from either the movie or the Broadway show if you fancy it. And also, some lucky person who I'm very grateful for actually filmed the New York version that they did, starring Nicole Scherzinger and Vanessa Hudgens. And honestly, again, that version is fantastic. And funnily enough, that was made like a year or two after the Broadway version had finished. So therefore, you know, there are massive differences between all the productions, and I'm not going to lie here, some of the other film productions that have been put onto YouTube are also worth watching, because of, if you look at how different people put their own take on the likes of Roger, Mark, Joanne, Mimi and many others, it's really quite fascinating to see, because of so many people have put their mark onto this musical that it's almost a bit like you can learn, and almost in an acting perspective, that if you are looking at how to take on the role of one of the characters from Rent, watching as many productions as you can will almost give you a chance to go, look, that character is a bit rough, he's a bit too soft, he's a bit too rough, or whatever, you know, something like that. That's what I look at it from an acting perspective, of course. So therefore, realistically speaking, Rent is one of those musicals that if you love, you love. If you don't love, you don't love. But honestly, it's one that you could probably cry about, and I watched Billy Elliot and I cried during that. So, you know, it's definitely, if you don't at least feel a bit of sympathy when Angel dies in the Rent, either in the movie version or preferably in the Broadway version, where they really do go to town with with the song Contact. Honestly, it's so sad. That second act is sad for a reason, but it's so beautifully well done at the same time. So please check it out. Now, I believe that is all from me today, folks. I really hope you enjoyed this kind of different video. And yeah, that's all from me. If you have liked this, please like. And also, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, because all the support I can get is really appreciating, to me as a person. And given that next year is going to be the year when hopefully I'll be starting to get my name out there even bigger, with hopefully your support out there. So please like, share and subscribe. And you know, my social media links are all down below. So therefore, thank you everyone, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, thank you, bye bye.